guys, Craig here and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have another top 10 list for you. This time it's 10 of the world's most dangerous women. If you enjoy true crime content, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell icon so you never miss another video. So since men perpetrate about 90% of the world's homicides, it makes sense that nearly all of history's most notorious serial killers are men. But they do have a small number of female counterparts, and they are just as deadly. So today we look at some of the most horrifyingly ruthless female killers of all time. Number 10. Amanda Knox. An American student called Amanda Knox was charged with the brutal murder after her roommate Meredith was found dead early in 2007. Meredith's body was discovered with her throat mercilessly slashed, and the 19-year-old was arrested, and according to reports it was because she rejected Amanda's request to indulge in some underhand sexual activity. Number 9. Velma Barfield. Velma Barfield has another claim to infamy besides being a serial killer. She was the first woman to be executed in the US after the death penalty was reintroduced in 1977. She was put to death for murdering Stuart Taylor, her boyfriend. She had begun using his checking accounts to forge checks to buy prescription pills. She then went on to poison his beer to knock him out, and she did try to play at nursing him back to health for a few days. She was caught when an autopsy turned up traces of arsenic. She also confessed to killing her mother in the same manner. All told, she had killed 5 people, but she spent much of her time on death row as she found religion and became a devout Christian. Weird, but true. Number 8. Nanny Doss. Nanny Doss killed 11 people between 1920s and 1954, including 4 of her husbands, 2 of her children, her 2 sisters, her mother, a grandson, and a mother-in-law. She was known as the Giggling Granny, the Lonely Hearts Killer, the Black Widow, and Lady Bluebeard. Her main method of murder was rat poison. She pled guilty and was sentenced to life imprisonment. She would go on to die in 1965. Number 7. Christine Gilbert. Gilbert was a nurse who was convicted of 4 murders and 2 attempted murders of patients admitted to her hospital in Massachusetts. She would inject the patients with a massive dose of amphetamine, which is an untraceable heart stimulant. This would cause cardiac arrest, and she would respond to the coded emergency herself. She was convicted in 1998. She is serving a life sentence currently at Fort William in Texas. Number 6. Eileen Warnos. Born in 1956, Warnos killed 7 men in Florida between 1989 and 1990. She shot each of the 7 at point-blank range. She was captured after a minor traffic accident in one of her victims' cars. She told police that she murdered the men in self-defense because they raped her while she worked as a prostitute. However, she was sentenced to death for 6 of these murders. And in 2003, a movie about her life entitled Monster was released to high praise. Number 5. Beverly Alley. Beverly Alley was dubbed the Angel of Death after killing numerous children in her care in Britain. She was charged with murdering 4 children by injecting them with high doses of insulin. Alley was diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but she was still deemed fit to stand trial. She was found guilty and given 13 life sentences in 1993 for the 4 murders, 3 attempted murders, and 6 accounts of attempting to cause grievous bodily harm with intent. She is still currently incarcerated at a secure hospital in Nottinghamshire in England. Number 4. Rosemary West. Rosemary West and her husband Fred subjected teenage girls, one of them even their own daughter, to torture and sexual abuse. They also murdered and dismembered most of their victims. The police finally caught up with the couple in 1994. For the brutality of her crimes, Rose West was found guilty of 10 murders and sentenced to life in prison. But Fred took the coward's way out and died via suicide not long into the trial. Number 3. Myra Hindley. Myra Hindley and her boyfriend Ian Brady killed 5 children together and buried them in Saddleworth Moor in northwest England during the 1960s. In 1966, they were convicted for 3 of the deaths. The couple later confessed in the 1980s to killing the other 2 children during this time. Most shockingly, some of the children were tortured and molested before their deaths, and the couple kept photographs and audio recordings of one of their victims. Ian Brady died in a high-security psychiatric hospital in 2017, and Myra Hindley died in 2002 while she was still incarcerated. Number 2. Amelia Dyer. Amelia Dyer's killings began with baby farming, when someone would take in unwanted babies in exchange for money. After becoming widowed, Dyer apparently learned of this practice and began advertising her services as a babysitter or caretaker in local newspapers. Instead of taking care of the child, Dyer would murder the baby by starvation or strangulation. But eventually, doctors became aware of the number of deaths of children in her care, and Dyer was sentenced to 6 months of hard labour for neglect. Upon her release, she went back to murdering children and started disposing of their bodies in a river instead so that she could escape suspicion. It is believed that she had murdered hundreds of infants in her killing career. One of those bodies was found and traced back to her, and after confessing to her crimes, Amelia Dyer was hanged on June 10th, 1896. Number 1. Countess Elizabeth Battleroy. Elizabeth Battleroy was whispered to be a vampire because of her bloodlust. After she married a count in 1575, sources say that her husband built her a torture chamber in the castle, where according to History.com, Battleroy enjoyed jamming pins and needles under the fingernails of her servant girls, and tying them down and smearing them with honey and leaving them to be attacked by bees and ants. After she moved on from servant girls to targeting the daughters of the local nobles, Elizabeth Battleroy's crimes were discovered, and she was convicted for 80 counts of murder in 1611. She was then confined to a room of the castle that is said to only have had slits for food and air. She died 3 years later, penniless. So guys, did you agree with my list of the top 10 dangerous women? Let me know in the comment section below. And is there anyone that you think should have made this list? If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And turn on that bell icon so you never miss another upload. See you all next time. Take care. Bye.